once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 89, part 2. Moss is dancing. Now he's doing...
He was putting his phone in his pocket.
Other stuff. He was dancing.
No, peace. Or not peace. Yeah.
Rock on.
Rock on. This is peace.
My name's Tony. I'm joined by Mossies and Jason. This course is part 2. In the event you have yet to do so, please do pause the video, click out, or check it out after you watch this. For part 1, where we do this week's news as well as cover the reader's email. A lot of sign language going on to my left.
You're talking very fast.
I'm sleepy. I explained this in part 1. This is my 4th podcast. I've been recording for nearly 8 hours. I'm sleepy.
Hey, you brought this on yourself.
I did sign all this up for today. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just this is my down point. I apologize. You guys will see all the content I've been working on today over the course of the next few weeks. I'm just jealous.
None of it's worth
just
anything.
Jealous of my sweet dance moves.
It's time for the chime.
Tony's topic of the week.
Just turning into a 30-second.
It's too long. Cut it.
Yes.
All right. This week we had some unfortunate news about few launch day and launch window titles getting delayed, and because of said delays, I thought it'd be a great time to bring up if the consoles are still in fact
That's what happens when it's midnight.
worth getting, because
This is bad.
like I know Mark was the first one to bring up this depressing news in our little, we have this little chat going on.
Shh. It's secret.
Where we all communicate throughout the week with what's the happy haps of the gaming industry and what we're going to do for the show and whatnot. And Mark was the first one right away when we found out Watch Dogs, which is one of the titles, is getting delayed. He's like, I don't know why I'm getting a PS4 now.
Put them. I lost it then. Keep going. You're fine.
So this is why you're always standing in the screenshots on YouTube, by the way.
It's great.
Every single YouTube video, Jason's just standing.
Wanderingly, aimlessly during the podcast.
Yeah.
He's like our half member.
And you're actually wrong, sir. I was the first one to mention, and I believe it was last week's show, about possibly not getting my Xbox One.
We talked about
This
this.
was before the delays hit.
No,
you were
yeah.
just questioning getting one.
We were talking about instead of getting that, getting the 3DS.
You weren't questioning getting one because of the delays, which is the topic of the week, good sir.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying.
Well, initial thoughts?
I still think there's plenty of reason to get them both, but we'll get into that shortly.
My opinion prior was wait, and this news doesn't really strengthen my opinion, but might strengthen other people's opinions towards waiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a major blow for me because that was one of the 2 launch games that I was planning on getting.
Which ones are you referring to?
I'm referring to Watch Dogs, which was delayed until March of next year.
No.
Oh, which games am I getting?
Beyond March of next year.
Oh,
next quarter 2.
Quarter 2. Yeah.
April. It might not come out till the end of June.
Very, very good point. But yeah, I'm trying to have a little
April 1st.
Hey, that's fine.
That would be a joke.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a huge issue for
April
me
1st.
now. So now I am kind of in that boat of questioning, what do I do from here? Is it really worth investing in? Huh? at this current juncture, or should I wait until there's a Connectless one in 6 months?
When I flip my fucking shit. That's the day I go nuts. That's the day I go postal. Is the day the Xbox One in fucking 2 months when it's selling like shit offers a $400 Connectless Xbox One.
2 months, you think that's
the day I go on the shooting spree.
Shooting spree.
That's the day I go postal.
And he's not talking about a gun either.
Well,
what?
Metaphorically, it's a gun.
Look at all the secondhand smoke Mega Man is inhaling.
That poor guy. He died!
No! This is what happens when we record at midnight.
Still recording at midnight. It's
Yeah.
not like we started at midnight.
What also delayed was The Crew, right?
Which makes no fucking sense. They said it was coming out in 2014. That's it, a very vague release date. And they're like, well, we're delaying it from 2014 to later in 2014. You didn't have a fucking release date. You don't owe anybody an explanation. It's still going to come out in 2014. And if it doesn't make it by then and it's coming out in 2015, wait another 6 months to announce the delay. I don't know.
And then we also got The Division, right? The Division, is that the right name?
Yeah.
That was the free game that PS4 owners
Drive
were
Club.
going to get. Or Drive Club?
Drive Club, yeah, Drive Club.
The Division was is Ubisoft's game.
Yeah.
And that also got fucking delayed. Drive Club.
Yeah.
Nothing happened with The Division, right?
Not that I know
sorry.
of.
Not yet. I mean,
I'm getting all these card games mixed up.
Drive Club is
it could very well be delayed.
It doesn't have a release date, so it can't
Yeah,
be.
we don't know. Drive Club, I mean, all the games that got delayed, I didn't really give a shit about, so it really doesn't affect me personally. Like, Watch Dogs doesn't look very good to me, and I know I'm the only person in the world that thinks so. It just looks fucking boring and generic, and Assassin's Creed without the gimmicky fucking background. The maps look the same. The way you move looks the same. Like it's Assassin's Creed with a new coat of paint, and to me, it's a big turnoff. I'm the only one. I know it. Everybody else thinks it's the greatest fucking looking thing ever. So I'm the crazy one. But to me, I'm not excited about that game at all. The only selling point is that it takes place in my home city.
That's
And I kind of want to see Chicago digitally. I want to see how accurate they did it because I'm downtown all the time and be like, oh wow, that's actually pretty. There is a sidewalk right there. There is an alley right there.
because the last game to do it was what, Driver 2?
And it wasn't a very good rendition.
No.
Because, most games nowadays take place in L.A. or New York, and I don't know those cities well enough to know if there really is a street lamp right there and there really is a fire hydrant right there. That's literally all I'd get from the game, and I can get that in 3 years when this is $10 in a bargain bin.
You want them to see, like, oh, wow, yeah, the concrete is actually cracked along that curve.
I really don't know how well they fucking, or what if, like, the McDonald's that I know's on that stand is a Burger Time or whatever, and it's like, wow, they even knew
Mac
the
Burger
fast
or something.
Yeah, the fast food spot. Yeah, they couldn't get the rights to McDonald's, but that's even in the right spot.
Well, we already know that they screwed up Chicago Theater on the game.
No, I didn't know that. Huh?
It's a nightclub.
They should have, like, potholes that evolve over time based on the current situation of the...
That's what cloud gaming's for.
That's
Hey, look, there's a pothole there
That's
now.
literally the only enjoyment
Literally?
I was gonna get out of Watch
It
Dogs.
literally is.
Yeah. Same thing with what was the other shit that got delayed? Drive Club. Like, I got Forza.
That was a free game. Right?
No, you can still buy it.
It's free for...
Game. It was going to be a limited version of it on PlayStation Plus.
They still announced it will be...
It's still going to be a free PlayStation Plus game. It's
Yeah.
just delayed a couple
when
months.
it comes out, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really fucking care. That's not I want Gran Turismo on PS3. I was going to take it because it was free. I'm like, cool. It got delayed. This doesn't change anything for me. It'd be different. Like, I guess it's just weird because out of all the games I could have picked, every game I picked is still coming out on time. So I don't give a shit.
Well, I'm one for three, one delayed out of the three that I'm getting.
I'm getting 4, and none of them are affected by this, so it doesn't change me at all.
What do I got?
The one of the 3 is not delayed?
Is delayed.
Oh,
Is delayed.
okay.
Yeah. Because I only have a Xbox One pre-ordered. And I've got
Rise?
I've got Dead Rising, and I had Watch Dogs. I also have Forza and Battlefield, but I don't think I'm going to do those. Kind of changed my
Came
mind
to your
on it.
senses?
No, it's not so much that. It goes back to what I was talking about. It's like, okay, I can not get those two games for $120 and get a 3DS.
2DS.
Whatever.
DS.
Yeah, I don't care whichever one. If it's a 3DS, I'll just
If
turn
we,
that shit
if,
off.
we, if we co-buy a
You can also
2DS,
go into the parental controls and turn it off completely.
Yeah.
That way you won't accidentally turn it on.
if we co-buy a 2DS, would that make me a 1DS owner?
I think
No,
so.
you're a half 2DS owner. A half 2DS. You do the
Oh,
math.
one screen.
Completely off topic. Anybody see that thing disassembled? The size of that screen?
It's one big
I heard it's like $65 to replace it.
Yeah, we knew it was one screen going in, but the screen is the entire size of the unit.
It's probably that's what they needed to mass market
Oh.
it, mass produce it,
Yeah.
or to make it not flimsy around it, like crack.
Yeah, I was just surprised when they took that little plastic cover off, and it looks like a tablet then. Anyways,
Yeah, rock on.
Legend of
So,
Zelda is going to get delayed.
The one thing I'm kind of concerned now, like this was one of my initial concerns. I guess I'll repeat one of my initial concerns. There's going to be games that launch the annuals that are coming. That are look, I don't care what Rise. I think is going to be a complete bomb critically, and I think there will be a lot of buyer's remorse. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but it just looks bad to me. I'm thinking it's the perfect dark of this generation. And what's going to happen is the games that are going to sell are people are just going to be like going through the motions. Oh, it's November. I'm going to buy Call of Duty. I'm going to buy Assassin's Creed. And then there'll be the games that come out like every other year, like Batman, and they'll go through the motions and buy those regular games. Whether they buy it on the PS3, PS4, 360, or One, it's kind of irrelevant since I think the experience is going to be more or less the same. But then I think amongst next-gen owners, come January, February, March, especially on the Xbox front, I get the sense that there's going to be a lack of software out there because there's no incentive to release a game in January really. Because if you're going to release it in January, release it at launch. If it's not going to be ready at launch, don't release it until 6 months at least later, which is what Watch Dogs did. There's a reason they didn't delay this till January. Or February. They released it well down the line and made it ambiguous as to when it's going to come out. Because I think they want to, there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think that's one of the reasons. And so one of my biggest concerns is I think sales will be really low in February. Because when you get over the impulse purchasers, not impulse purchasers, but the core buying it, and then you're trying to get more towards the mass market, $500 is too much money. $400 is a little more reasonable, but still too much money, and they're just not going to buy it. There's not millions of people that are going to pick these up every month. It's not, it's I don't know how the PS4 sells 12 million units in 2014 or because it's not going to sell 1 million a month. I don't think it will in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. No, November it will. November it will. But until then.
This is a bad episode.
I completely agree on the Xbox side. This is a major one of my concerns for the Xbox One that I've been saying since it got announced. Xbox doesn't have enough studios and they blew their load. Everything is already announced. They have one studio that we don't know what they're doing in Epic Games. And it's probably Gears of War 4 for the Xbox One. So once their launch window is up, in 2015 or 2014, we know Halo 5's coming out because they've teased it. That's probably their big holiday title. And maybe we'll get a Gears of War. Turn 10 can't turn it around that fast. And Lionhead's new game's coming out quick too. That's it. That's their 4 studios. And then since late 2014, Halo 5 is coming out. You're another 2 years away from that game launching again. So potentially the next 2 or 3 years, you have like Halo 5, maybe Gears of War, and if they rush it, Forza 6.
Well, they're going to rely on what they've relied on the last
Third
2
parties.
3 years. Really, like 4 or 5 games. Really, you'll get those 1 or 2 blockbusters in the holiday season, like this year is Batman. Like that'll probably sell well into the. Although that's not even next gen. That's
No,
current gen.
yeah.
But like next year, you'll get. Next year it does have. What's the EA shooter game?
Titanfall?
Titanfall. Yeah, that's their big gun, really.
Mhm.
I think it'll last. It'll be all right. But then Destiny will come out, and then that'll last. Like I don't think any of these games are long term games. And then they'll bank on Destiny, and Watch Dogs will come out. But it's the same. You know, what do all 3 of those games I just named have in common? They're all releasing from March till July or June or whatever. But all 3 of them are on the 360 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the incentive, I don't know if it's there. I don't know if
Is
the
Titanfall?
Yeah, Titanfall is a 360 game. No way EA would have agreed to make that an exclusive.
Yeah.
That's going to sell
One
500,000
I guess I just
copies.
didn't. I didn't pay attention. But yeah.
But on the PlayStation side, I don't think that's true. They've been very quiet, other than saying that everybody's working on something for a very long time. Sony, the last couple of years, is really, really good. Up until maybe the last 3 or 4 months, this hasn't been true. But before that, the last 3 or 4 years, they have so many studios. There's literally, quite literally, or almost literally,
Almost
a first party.
What does almost literally mean?
Not quite
literal.
Not quite. Yes. There's pretty much a first party game coming out every single month. They're not all Uncharted's, but they are first party disc based $60 games coming out nearly every single month.
Has anything come out first party since Last of Us?
Yeah, Puppeteer.
Okay.
Beyond
Beyond was not really it's a
Beyond.
third party game that's exclusive.
It's second party. Quantic Dream doesn't make anything for anybody else but
But
Sony.
Sony doesn't have a stranglehold over them. Don't they choose to?
That's second party.
Oh, I always thought second party was it was an independent company that has an agreement, like that's
more or less
basically
what they have.
more or less owned.
No, owned is first.
Yeah.
Third is completely free. Second is a free company who
like they
works.
lend their property out.
They have an agreement with them to do it. You know,
Like I wouldn't say Titanfall EA is a second party game from Microsoft.
No.
I mean, but that's
just a game. It's
that's a
third-party
game that they agreed on an exclusive
Yeah.
for that system.
yeah, but when a studio works exclusively
Quantic
for,
Dream's been
for-
with
yeah.
Sony for almost a decade.
yeah, but
yeah,
they're
well,
not.
so was like Insomniac for a while.
Yeah.
But
Insomniac was a second party developer for a long time too. They just broke off.
all right,
now.
I'm gonna look up exactly what
And
second party
they're
the
going to
restrictions
go
are.
right back
Curious.
to it after that crap.
Mhm.
Sunset Overdrive.
No,
Oh, that
no,
And
that
Fused into
Sunset
Solid.
Overdrive, I think will be fun.
that's awful. I don't know.
But and that's one of my major things with PlayStation is I'm so excited for the PS4, and like the things that other people are saying faults are pluses to me. Like I can't believe I'm this excited, and I don't care about any of these games. You know what I mean? Like Killzone looks like it'll kill a couple months. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know, like I'm excited without any of the shit that I really love about Sony and its arsenal. None of that stuff's announced yet, and that makes it even more exciting for me. The fact that I'm this happy without a God of War, without an Uncharted, without a Last of Us 2, without a Ratchet and Clank game, without a Jack and Daxter game. Without a Gran Turismo. All the series that
What about Little Big Planet?
there is a Little Big Planet coming. That's why I didn't mention them actually. It's called Little Big Planet World, I think. I don't remember. Free to play. It's gonna be on the PS4.
Didn't new Ratchet and Clank just
But-
come out? Or
No,
coming out?
one's coming out, but it's for the PS3.
Right, yeah.
Into the Nexus. But like all that shit that I love on the PlayStation isn't even announced yet. That's insanely exciting to me that I'm this excited without any of my major... That's like, could you have ever been more pumped for a Nintendo product, even if a Zelda product was 4 years away? You know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's insane to me. And all these studios aren't sitting on their heels. We don't know. That's exciting. Like, we don't know what any of these companies are doing yet. You can guess what a majority of them are doing, but there's a lot of unknowns. Like, I don't know what the fuck Sony Bend's doing. I don't know if they're working on a Vita game. I don't know if they're working on a PS4 game. I don't know if they're going to bring back Splinter Cell. I don't know if they're working on a whole new IP. Because Sony Bend is probably the best company.
You mean Siphon Filter?
Siphon Filter.
Okay,
Excuse
sorry.
me. Yeah.
I know it's late. That's why I got confused.
I'm
for a
really
second.
tired, guys.
Where's my Twisted Metal?
Sony Bend
Just came out.
Sony Bend is probably the best studio in the industry at taking other people's IPs and making sequels for them. They're the only company, in my opinion, you know when like when those guys
What have they done?
People Can Fly.
They did Judgment and how
And you know how bad
Warner
it was?
Brothers Montreal's doing Origins, yeah.
Yeah, and they usually don't turn out well. Sony Bend, every single one.
Who did Ascension? God of War Ascension. 'Cause that one was kind of...
That was Santa Monica.
Okay.
That just wasn't a good game.
Yeah. But it wasn't the... if I remember correctly, it wasn't the main...
Sony Santa Monica, we don't know what they're doing either.
Well, they're doing God of War. Asian.
They're doing the order to... No, Sony Santa Monica is really big. There's like 4 or 5 studios.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't the main... It wasn't the original studio that did God of War. It was and it was I should say team. It was Santa Monica, but it was a different team that did Ascension.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Yeah, because Santa Monica's working on the Order 1886, but that's not all they're fucking working on. That's a big studio. They got like 4 branches at one time. That's what I'm saying. Like all the cool shit they haven't even said anything
And just
about
think,
yet.
they could bring back 989 Studios. Start making sports games again.
But none of these games that you're talking about are coming out at all anytime in the first 6 months.
We don't know that. Oh no, in 6 months you're right.
Yeah, at earliest, that second quarter's already starting to look very crowded now with
It's looking very crowded.
with Destiny and this game
Titanfall?
Titanfall on the Xbox side, yeah. Watch Dogs.
Probably Drive Club will be pushed to then.
No,
I don't.
Drive
That's
Club's
not a
only
big.
getting
That's
delayed
not a
a few
big player.
weeks.
Is it?
I'm looking at the bigger players, and at least Destiny and I don't know if I don't think that's big enough where companies are going to steer away from that whole release area. But I think they're looking at the install base is not going to grow significantly from January to June.
No.
So if you're going to release a game in that period of time, you might as well just release it later on when you know it'll sell better when there's more consoles out there. I don't think there's going to be as many people.
And that's the vicious circle is to sell hardware you need to produce software, but software wants to wait until there's more hardware.
Yeah, that's true. And but the second quarter is already dominated by third-party software. But
That's just what's been announced.
It's
thus
weird
far,
because it's third-party software that's also on current gen. So there's a lot of question marks that are uncertain. Which is why I don't think it's worth picking up the console at launch unless you're a hardcore Killzone fan. You want to experience that right away. Because I understand the hype about getting it because you're so excited about the future of it. But the stuff you're excited about isn't happening yet. Mm-hmm. And it will come later. I mean, if you really think Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts is going to look or play that much better, sure. If you're interested in that, what I think is an incremental jump, go for it. And any game that's on both is, in my opinion, going to be an incremental jump. It's not a big jump at all.
No.
It may be the exclusives.
Maybe some of the sports games, but that's because they said that they're building them off different engines. But like as far as like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Watch Dogs, Destiny, Titanfall, they're all going to be
They're
the
all
same
current
game.
gen games ported up.
And they'll have a nice shiny gloss on them. That's pretty much what they do.
I don't think there's gonna be a lack of games to play though. I really don't. Like I know
Because there's all the current gen ports. What I call ports. I shouldn't say that, but Assassin's Creed 4 is a launch title.
I'm not even counting those because I don't give a shit about Assassin's Creed.
That's the entire lineup, though. I think of games really that are people are excited about. Like if you look at the pre-order numbers for PlayStation 4, you know the top pre-ordered game is?
That's Creed 4, I know.
No, well, it's Call of Duty Ghosts. Number 2 is Battlefield 4. I think Assassin's Creed is number 3. And then there's a huge jump. Like people are excited about the PS4 to play Battlefield 4. Like, well, you can get that on your current gen. See, those are just the people that have to have the new game. There's no games, really. I don't think Killzone is a must-have game.
Well, I mean, PlayStation alone in the first like 2 or 3 months is like 40-something games coming out. They can't all be AAA. That's a physical impossibility. They don't have 40 different studios producing
that's
games. Some are third party. They got a lot of indie-only games coming. They got a lot of PC games that are coming exclusively to... not exclusively, that's the wrong word. Not coming to Xbox One, only coming to PS3.
Console exclusive.
Yeah. Only coming to PS4.
Warframe.
And those are coming
That's
out.
a big deal.
And those are coming out pretty regularly. There's, I think, 1 or 2 coming out every week. Just those titles. Like little $20 games that are on Steam that are, regarded really well, and they're just not available on consoles.
They're getting PlayStation's getting Minecraft. Mm-hmm. That's huge. Mm-hmm. And I know it sounds really stupid, but
PS3 as well.
I believe so. Both of them are
okay.
Sony's getting Minecraft.
Yeah. So I mean, out of these 40 games, like, okay, yeah, you're not gonna find 40 out of 40 games that you like, but if you find like 4 or 5, you tell me that's not enough to get.
Well, that's
3 or 4 months.
That's the way. No. That's the way that it works. Is when. Like you said, when you produce more, then there's more chances of you finding something that you'd be interested in.
And this is just what we know about. They can pop up tomorrow and say, well, here's our April lineup.
Yeah.
And they'll pop up in another month and be like, here's our June lineup.
I think that'll happen, actually. When I say I don't think there's going to be much to play, I should probably clarify. There's not going to be enough new games out to play that's going to warrant somebody to want to go out and buy a console in February.
At that point.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be the gigantic dry spell for about 4 months.
If not longer.
It might be longer. Because
I'm
they're just too expensive. They're too...
I'm not expecting the full-scale next-gen console launch until next holiday.
See, I think
this is a soft. In my opinion, this is a soft launch.
It really is.
I think it's
well said.
I think the Xbox is really expensive. I agree. I feel that way, and I'm purchasing it. I think the PS4 is really cheap.
Well, what I say is, like, if you're...
It has better technology in it, and it's $100 cheaper.
Well, I don't consider the when I'm looking at the launch lineups and in the launch window 6 months, is it worth it for me to spend, say, $550 to get a PS4, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Assassin's Creed 4? I'm just hypothetically here. $550, because that's really what it is to get those 3 things. Or you just spend $130 and get those 2 games on your system that you already have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, the argument is, you're going to buy it eventually anyway. And sure, you might, but, I guess a lot of people don't have that.
There might be a bundle or a better deal or, like we said, a Connect-less version down the line.
Yeah. And a lot of people just don't have that disposable income of $500 to shell on a console.
Yeah, I'm lucky because I'm not feeling it all because I've been saving for 3 years, 2 years. I knew these were coming. I thought they were coming a lot sooner than they came. And I've been throwing $10, $20 away for weeks and months. So, like, when they were actually pre-orderable, I had a stack of money that I've been saving that I, was able to
just
throw
cut
these
back
things.
on the hookers and coke for a while.
So, to me...
That'll do it, though. That saves a lot.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. I look at the whole thing differently. Like, I think I've said this a couple weeks ago. To me, it's like a tax. And you're not really buying the consoles. You're just buying something. You're investing in games. And I know these things are good for another 10 years. And sure, I can wait a year and maybe get a $50 price cut and there'll be more games. But you're missing out on so much. You're missing out on the conversation. You're not going to go back and play. Some of these games might be real good. And at that point, there's going to be the flood of games. And 16 or 18 months. There's going to be a constant stream of games like there is now. And you're not going to go back and play these games that are launching now. You missed them. You have no idea.
No, I agree.
And I just look at something like, yeah, can I wait 18 months and get this thing $50 or $100 cheaper? Yeah, but for me, you boil 18 months down by $50. It costed me $2 extra a day or whatever. Or no, how the fuck? I can't do math.
It's
right
okay.
now. I'm
It's
so
it's
tired.
like midnight.
Pennies
50
a day, but I mean,
50
you can say about
that-
any
that-
investment ever.
Yeah, but that's how I'm.
It's like those commercials, like save the animals. It's like 8 cents a day or something.
But that-
Like,
I'm
oh
just-
wow, that's nothing.
I'm just explaining
Adds up.
my thought process. It's like, I had to pay
just a
50,
win.
I had to pay $50 to experience all this stuff for an extra 18 months over you who waited for the first price cut. I'm fine with that.
What you're
a prime-
considering experiencing, I don't really consider experiencing because I don't think the experience will be much different of the non-exclusive games.
I guess, in my opinion, coming from somebody who, with the current gen, the first one that I purchased was the Wii. So I was already over a year out when I got my 360. And there's games like Cameo and The Outfit and things like that I'd seen that looked interesting, but I never bothered to go back and play because there was so much more content. So in that regards, I agree. On the flip, it's a really hard line. If you have the means to invest in it now, then by all means. If not, then wait.
It's not even all that. I'm sure I won't give a fuck about 90% of this crap because I don't think I will care about it. But there's little shit that I'm wanting to try for myself since this shit got announced, and this is all the stuff that I'm rationaling against that $50. Like, I want to see what this fantasy football app on Xbox One is like before the fantasy football season's over, and is that worth $50? No. Is the revised ESPN app and the new cable features, is any one feature worth $50? No. But when I take all those into account, plus the ability to play Forza right now and Rise right now, while holding me over until the next stream of games comes out, when I take that all into account, hell yeah, it's worth it. Like, for me, these things are going to last 8 years. Why would you miss out on the first year to save $50? Now you're down to 6 years before you have to worry about the next console. Why don't you, if you're going to invest in something, don't you want to maximize the time that you can utilize it as opposed to handcuffing yourself for 2 or 3 or 4 years waiting for a major price cut for these things that drop to $200? You're going to be 4 or 5 years behind everybody else. You're not even part of the conversation. Like we'll be sitting here talking about why Forza 5 is amazing and why Rise sucks, and you'll be like, I have no idea because
Well, I think about 90% of the best games coming out in the next calendar year will all be on. You will almost all be playable.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what you'll be missing much. I do agree that the reason to buy now is just that desire to hold the new PS4 controller and scroll through the menus. There's a certain aspect of that that's attractive that I think
Same thing with this.
people like doing.
This is the iPhone 5S.
It's like, wow. Like, what is it? Like, how does it feel to press the button? Like,
The button. Oh. But you know what? I have to.
there's value in that, though.
There
I really
is.
think there's a lot of that. There's like, it's almost like eye candy.
Hey, everybody's doing it now.
You want to see it. You want to scroll through.
The one thing, and I agree 100% with you when you look at your major releases, your AAA titles. That's where I said soft launch is because you're going to have literally might say, a year of overlap, which
More than that, I think.
we've never really
I
had
think
before
3 years.
per se. But there's going to be a lot of stuff, the indies, the hidden little gems.
like shit like the sharing buttons and the like
I'm talking about like
game wise. I know
yeah.
No indie is going to make exclusively for Xbox One. Like, that's suicide. I mean,
An indie is an indie. They're not really. It's a different playing field, in my opinion.
Some indies are made by like 2-3 people.
Exactly.
If they
So
sell, like,
I mean,
20,000 copies
exactly.
on Xbox Live.
Then
they're
they've
millionaires.
So why not come out and go like if I was going to make a game, and we're a game development team, I'm going to want to be one of the first people out on that new system, even though it may not reach as large an audience because my profit margin is so low, or not my. It's late.
I know what you're saying because this happens with the Vita right now.
My ROI is so low that by selling 20,000 units, I can make back my money and get my product out there on the new platform.
This is what's happening with Vita.
Yeah, it really is. That's
People, the indies are flocking to the Vita because
They're
it's
fucking everywhere though.
It's so easy to make your money back
They're like crabs.
because it's a very easy console to port everything over to,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to sell next to nothing to make all their money back and more, and then it's all turning a profit because
The porting portion,
the Vita people are so hungry for games.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like the highest attach rate ever.
Yeah, that's why
The average Vita owner owns like 16 or 17 games. It's something ridiculous. Where shit's gonna sell because the store's a little barren. You know what I mean? Where people are just like, ooh, a new game, buy, and shit sells like crazy.
So when I'm waiting for that next AAA title that's a standout from the current gen, I've got a bunch of these little games that'll keep me entertained and keep me turning the system on and going back to it. As opposed to...
There's a spider.
Huh?
Spider, and you got Buster.
It's alright, he's our mascot.
No, he's gonna die.
The spider is attacking Batman.
You're gonna die!
Oh,
Nice.
Spider-Man. Now he's permanently attached to Batman.
I just saw it. It just came down the street. It landed on the wall. I'm like,
Ugh.
You don't like spiders, huh?
No.
They're fun and they're real.
Oh my god, there's one on your shoulder.
Don't move, don't move.
He's gonna say
Well, let me kill it with it. Let me cut off its leg.
But that what you were bringing up is an excellent point. That's more of my justification too. It's just like it's all those little things, and like aside from PlayStation Plus offering a few more games, and me maybe doing a couple cleanups, those systems are getting shelved because like my 360 is on when I'm home is on pretty much permanently. Because whether I'm playing something or streaming Netflix or Xfinity's Comcast app or so on and so forth, it's fucking on.
Backwards.
So when the Xbox One launches, and HBO Go and all that stuff is going to transfer to my Xbox One. So I'm just going to be utilizing those. The old systems aren't there, and it's like you were saying, between using that stuff, and yeah, I could use the current console to do that, but and then the occasional indie game that pops out that I'm interested in, and the occasional third party, and the occasional first party, it's going to be enough to keep me going forward and be content.
And it's also...
It's a combination of everything.
If you're investing $500 in that system, even though you've got a device that's sitting there that can do 90% of what your new system does, you're going to want to use it on the new system to feel like you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's a little bit of everything. It's like I said, it's a little bit of that you counsel feel. It's a little bit of not wanting to be, I want to be part of the conversation, you know? It's a little bit
I
of...
bring up this up as a point. You
Yeah,
don't have to...
It's a perfect example. It really is. The
Yeah.
iPhone is a good example.
Yeah.
It's
And no, I didn't wait in any stupid lines, and I actually made more money by selling my old one. It's because I'm smart like that, but...
Yeah, but like, just it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of the few new features that it does offer. It's a little bit of the upgraded graphics. It's a little bit of me being a tech whore. It's a little bit of everything.
The processor's faster, the battery's better, and it's got this stupid little button, which is all kinds of awesome just to go...
Like let me ask you a question, sir. Because I mean, this seems extremely similar, but at the same time backwards. Because you did this exactly with the Wii U. I mean, the Wii U didn't have that promising of a launch, and it was going to be a while before it kicked off. And I still have a lot of faith in the Wii U. I think I have the most faith
I don't have much faith in it.
I think I'm the only one that still thinks the Wii U is going to turn it around. But it was you bought into the idea, right, of what it will, and that's how I feel.
A little bit.
And I think you don't understand why I'm doing it, but I think they're similar.
I had legitimate interest in the tablet and playing Nintendo Land, and there was a Zelda game there, and I felt that I would have been behind if I didn't play those games. That the difference with Nintendo is third parties don't exist anymore there, so the games that you play on the games I've played are Lego City, Nintendo Land, New Super Mario Brothers, Pikmin, and Wind Waker. Those are like the 5 main games I've played. None of those are on the Wii. They're prior console. They're obviously not third-party games. So they're all first-party exclusives. Some of them being their biggest. Those are like the 5, some of the biggest games. So on that, so going back to what I said about the PS4, if you're a person who wants Killzone and Infamous and whatever other first-party game comes out,
Drive Club, Knack,
Knack,
Resogun.
I like Knack. I want to get Knack. That'll be the first game I get on my PS4. But like, if I'm talking to a
normal gamer,
an imaginary Tony 6 months from now, and he's got a PS4, I'm like, oh, what do you got on the PS4? And you tell me, I got Killzone. No, I'm like, if you got Killzone, Knack, and Infamous, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But what is not, that's an imaginary person that doesn't exist. The person that has the PS4 is going to have
Call of Duty, Battlefield, Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
If I bought a Wii U and the only games I had were Black Ops 2, like Darksiders 2.
Mass Effect 3?
Games that came out were still relatively new. Okay. And Assassin's Creed 3. Like those 3 games or something that were all games that came out within that 2-month period or 3-month period. It would seem to me irrational why you bought that console. Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's enough. As awful as the Nintendo library was, like it still launched with a new Super Mario Brothers, a Nintendo Land, which it had. I think Nintendo had a little. It was not as good as people thought it was going to be. Still fun, but it's still a fun experience. I don't want to take that much away from it, but. I think people bought it for that. Really, they really did, and there was that same. I'm gonna get one eventually, but there was stuff there at launch that was interesting. That was only available on that console.
See, cause, with Nintendo, that's the whole reason why I always feel like I can go back, because it's a lot easier for me. Like I've got every Nintendo console ever, but I've been late to the party since the 64. It's always my afterthought, because to me it's easier to do cleanup on strictly first party games, while on my primary console I play their first party and third party, because like with the Wii, I came into the Wii really late in I got one in like 2009 or 2010, and it really wasn't that hard for me to go back and play the 2 Marios I missed. Yeah. And that was it. And I felt like I was caught up. I didn't care about 90% of that console's library because it's shovelware. And the same thing is going to be true with the Wii U. I know there are
there's like 3 games you've missed if you just pick one up today. Most people will pick up Mario. They might pick up Pikmin maybe.
I would currently, right now as it sits, I'd pick up Mario.
Yeah. Like some games are too late. Like I don't think people are going back and pick like a game like The Wonderful 101, like decent reviews, nothing spectacular.
I wouldn't go back to that. I wouldn't go back to Pikmin. I wouldn't go back to Zombie
I think some people might pick up Pikmin, but that's just my opinion, because that's the best game on the system. The best game, including Wind Waker. I still think that's the best game. Like a game like Lego City Undercover,
I'm not going to...
I don't know if people go back and pick it up. Those games are the equivalent to... I wouldn't put Pikmin in there, because I think that's... when all things are said and done, that's going to be a top 10 Wii U game, I think, overall for the cycle. But like a game like, do you really think Rise is going to be one of those games for Xbox One?
No.
Is any game that comes out?
No, because if you look back at the launches of both the PS3 and the Xbox,
awful.
Awful. They're considered terrible.
Yeah, Condemned, Cameo.
Yeah, they're bad.
Perfect Dark.
But I'm saying even if I grab a Wii U another year from now, maybe the new Zelda's out, and I'd want to go back and play the two
Yeah.
Marios, the one that launched and the one that's coming up soon. It's not like, and then I came to the party 3 years late, and I made up everything I would have played on that
Yeah.
anyway. And that's why I always come to them so late. You know what I mean?
I think some knowledge that we're like uncovering here is if you buy a system early, you end up playing more junk for it than you otherwise wouldn't. So if you bought or maybe not junk, but average games, or even above average games that people don't care about later on, the Lego City Undercover is a great game for the Wii U. I haven't actually beaten it. I think we only got like 7 hours in. But it was fun. And I don't remember why we stopped. I think just something came up. But Lego City Undercover.
Oh, yeah. I love that game.
Yeah, we didn't get that far, but it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But people coming back and picking up a console now are not going to go back to that. And that's money that people are saving. But then there's also experiences like Nintendo Land might be a prime example, where somebody picking up a console now might not care to go play Nintendo Land. Or they might not care to play The Wonderful 101 or Game & Wario. Likewise, people are not going to care to go back and play Killzone, which is like, they're going to think back, oh, that was an average game. But, yeah. Or there might be junk. Like, what if there's a game like Perfect Dark Zero?
But see,
A
that's
crap game that everybody bought. Like, maybe Rise is that game.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to buy it, and then 6 months down the road, you're going to be like, wow, that was $65 I just wasted.
Well, see, I don't know because I did get a lot of those launch titles, and like, with the exception of Resistance 1, which I think combined
That was
between,
okay.
That's
was
exactly what I
okay.
was going to get at. Between the 360
the one I
launch
played in
and
the
the
series.
PS3 launch, that was the only game that you can still consider a good game out of both launch lineups.
Some people might say Condemned was okay. Did you play Condemned?
See, that's what I'm getting at. Is at the time, Perfect Darks doesn't count because that was always a bad game. But at the time, you were content with those games, like Rainbow Six 1 and or New Vegas 1, the first one, and Condemned and Katamari and all those. You were blown away with them at the time.
I was blown away by Cameo.
The thing is, looking back now, 7 years later, we're like, what were we thinking?
Yeah.
But you were happy with your purchases at the time, and they did blow you away.
Some games. I don't think anybody was happy with Perfect Dark.
I believe.
No, that's the one I said was the exception, because that thing was
Oh.
junk.
I believe it.
Cameo was good.
Last time I checked, Need for Speed Most Wanted on the 360 is still like $25, and that was a launch title, because that was a damn good game.
But
Was also multi-platform though.
Yeah.
That was still available on. I don't know if it was 360,
PS.
Xbox One. I
PS2
meant,
probably.
but it was on because that's what platform I played it on originally.
But that's what I'm saying is I think, like, I agree with you and disagree all at the same time. It's like, okay, we'll just use Killzone
I'm so conflicted.
as we'll use Killzone as an example. I think everybody's gonna like it a lot when it comes out. Do I think it's gonna receive a bunch of 10s and shit? No. I think it's gonna be a great game. The graphics are gonna blow everybody away. They're gonna be really happy.
It's gonna have those legacy sales.
It's gonna you
For
know
6 months.
people will enjoy it a lot and they'll move on with their lives. And then we'll look back in 2019 and 2020 and be like, Killzone looks like shit. Because then they'll figure out the hardware and they'll start utilizing it better. The games always get better looking as the generation goes on. They get more intuitive, more I can't fucking think or talk right now. They're just
you're
better
right. You're
games.
right, yeah.
They're just better games later in the generation. But you don't realize that the game wasn't all it could be while
There's
you're
very
playing
few
it.
exceptions. I think Metal Gear Solid 4, which is a launch window-ish
Yeah.
game, was an exception, though. That was a good game. But very few.
That's what I'm saying, though. So we
Very
won't know any better. Because we don't know what the future holds. So I don't think anybody's going to look back and be like, why the fuck did I waste $65 on Killzone? I just don't think so. Like,
Going back to the Nintendo front, I don't think that's the case, though. New Super Mario Bros. And Pikmin will last. People will think of those as some of the best games for the console
for the console, yeah.
10 years from now.
All right, let's hop into some final thoughts and wrap this bitch up. I can't even talk. I'm so sleepy.
Final thoughts?
It's gonna be a dangerous ride home. I'm gonna be like nodding off and shit. Jason, final thoughts.
I'm mad that Watch Dogs isn't coming out.
Are you thinking of canceling your pre-order?
On Watch Dogs?
No, on your game, on your console.
No. Not at this point. Not that. Now that I figured out a way to. Well, really quick, I went into the store last week with a bunch of stuff and traded in, and I was like $20
Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you. Anytime you want to trade something in, call me and let me know what it is first.
It was garbage. It was a bunch of garbage.
Resident Evil 6?
No, I don't even own a Resident Evil 6.
It was like Injustice.
Yeah, Judgment, stuff like that. Nothing but I had coupons for bonuses. So, I was like $20 shy on getting a 2DS. Literally, like I had the credit. I could have done it. And I stopped. Because I'm like, well, what am I going to play on it now? Like, I can take this brand new system home.
And with no games.
No games. I mean, I could have worked some magic out and probably got something, but, like, what am I going to play on it right now?
Way away.
So, I then took my credit and I paid off the last 2 current console games that I have coming out this next week.
Batman and what else?
WWE 2K14. So those are taken care of. Now I've restructured my thought process for my Xbox One. I still owe about half of it. But I'm rethinking about the pre-orders that I have. And there's just some games that I was excited for when they first announced the system and showed the games, that now I stop and I go, am I really going to play that? No. Battlefield 4. For me, Forza, because I prefer the arcade racers like Need for Speed. I'm not getting the new Need for Speed, but I'm like, I can take those 2 games.
It's $120.
$120, and not towards the Xbox. The Xbox, it's already taken care of, but that's $120 towards my 2DS and my copy of Zelda, and then maybe by that time somebody will trade in a Pokemon or whatever, and then I can start, like you were saying. What I tend to do is I go back through the library and pick up a bunch of stuff for Nintendo that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks at Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
but in hindsight, it's probably going to benefit me better to get me more of a diverse gaming experience, because I'll be able to get my 2DS by not getting Watch Dogs now.
My final thoughts are I'd wait. I don't see a reason to buy a console. I don't see the selling point there unless you're the core of the core.
Killer Instinct.
That I get. But like, even if you're gonna get it at launch and you're a little on the fence, at least wait 3-4 months. Wait till January, February. Wait until
when they need the sales.
Wait until the hype has died a little bit and it starts to become more clear. It'll probably become clear early on which games are worth getting. Maybe no reason to pick up Rise at launch. Don't pick up Killzone at launch. If those games come out and they're getting like 5s and 6s or 7s, and they're not really the big games that you want,
and you still want to play it, it'll be like $20 at that point.
Yeah, like
$30.
Don't waste your money on a game like, I keep mentioning it, but that's the game I think is gonna flop the most. Rise.
Can't wait to rub it in his face when it's like a 10.
Great.
Take that, Moss!
Yeah, why waste your money on that when you can get a game like Batman that's coming out this gen right now, or anything that's coming out for this gen that's still good.
Rise gets a 10. All of a sudden, there's Rise Dungeon.
Yes. So I'd wait. If you have a limited budget,
he called me up. Erase those old podcasts.
Yeah. If you have a limited budget, stick with what is.
Stick with what you know.
What you know and what you want. So if you're a 3DS gamer, if you have a Wii U, if you're a PS3 owner, there's plenty coming out this year worth getting. More so than, I think, throwing money at something that you're not sure is going to be the games aspect is going to be worth playing now, when you could wait.
Yeah, I agree with the software side. The hardware, I'm on the other side. I've been going at it at great details. The second you can bite, the second you can afford to bite. Like, why wait any longer? Why postpone the inevitable? Especially if you know you're going to get one anyway. Like, I had a couple days here and there since I've put the pre-orders down, and they're virtually paid off, both of them, so I'm all ready to go. I still have to pay for the games, but the consoles are all set. I had a couple days where I was kind of like, do I really need the Xbox? I'm super sure about the PS4, and I'm super sure about the lineup and all these other things. And if you backtrack into just this episode today, you can see why I was on occasion questioning the Xbox. I'm pretty sure that it's going to have way less games. It's going to be a lot easier to catch up on. And
it's got a better launch lineup.
Is there? Yeah, it does.
Dead Rising we haven't really mentioned.
And is it going to have a connectless version if this thing flops? So I was like a little hesitant, and there was a couple days where I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe I should cancel this one or whatever. But then I snapped out of it. I'm just like, you're going to get it anyway. There's a ton of games you want to play on it. Just bite, get it over with, and I'm set. Like, instead of worrying, is this happening? Is that happening? When am I going to get it? How am I'm done already. Like, I'm just going to grab them, and I don't have to worry for fucking 7-8 years. Maybe longer, maybe 10. If my prediction holds true, these are the last true consoles anyway. The PS5 and Xbox, whatever the fuck they call it, they're going to end up being stream boxes like Roku, where everything's on Sony and Microsoft's side, where you're just streaming signal, much like you use Netflix now. You just need a little thing, maybe the size of your phone, and a fucking controller, and that's it. Everything's just through the internet. So these might be the last boxes we ever buy anyway, and I don't want the headache. I don't have to think about it for 10 years. That's awesome to me. I might not be able to justify them in the first 6 months, but I know what's coming, and I know I'm going to want to play it all. And the last thing on my mind is going to have to be, where do I come up with the $400 to buy this thing? It's just over.
And he's a little burnt out on the coke and hookers right now.
But on the software end, from what Mas was saying, I couldn't agree more. Wait and see. There's no harm in pre-ordering. They're really easy to cancel, especially if you do it at GameStop. It's not a big deal. Just switch it to a different game, or tell them you don't want to get your money back. It's not fucking hard. But as for, I don't think you need to wait months. Games reviews drop like a week early usually, so you'll know a week before these consoles even launch what the launch lineup looks like, so you'll have time to adjust. I anticipate one of the 4 games I have pre-ordered is going to get a very low score. I don't know which game yet, and that'll be the first one I drop, and I'll get something else, because there's other games that I'm on the fence about. They're just not as important to me as the 4 games I do have pre-ordered. So, and that, in case anybody's wondering, it's Forza, Rise, Battlefield, and Killzone. I anticipate one of them scoring very low, getting a 6 or a 5 or some shit like that, and I'll drop that. And something that I would have replaced it with might have been something like Watch Dogs, but since that's getting delayed, I'll skip it entirely, or I could grab Dead Rising or Knack or something.
I like Knack. Knack looks fun.
Knack's a game I think is going to bomb.
You think so?
Like sales-wise, but I think it's going to get really high reviews.
7s and 8s. Yeah.
And I think it's going to drop in price.
Mark Cerny has never made a bad game.
And I think it's going to drop in price very rapidly.
One thing that this even happened with the Wii U, as bad as things did, the games never really dropped significantly early on, because there's so few people that buy them, so there's no real used market.
There's nothing killing new sales, yeah.
Yeah, so like a lot of Wii U games even are still $49.99, even when they're like $19.99 or $20.99 on the other consoles. Like Darksiders 2 is so overpriced on the Wii U, and compared to the other consoles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when there's 3 used copies out there, they're worth money.
Yeah.
So, all right, this has been episode 89, I think. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, I can't get that right today. Part 2. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same place. Wow, I made it.